Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Harry. Happy birthday to you. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So as you can tell by that, some good, who sounds good singing happy birthday? Very few people. But anyway, today is Harry Potter's 40th birthday. Harry is 40 today. Happy birthday, Harry! It is crazy that Harry Potter is 40 years old. Like, what? What? Lily Luna is 15. And the reason I know and worked out that she is now 15 is because of the video that you may or may not know. You won't know what this is about yet, other than it's about Harry's 40th birthday. So I'm going to tell you. I am, by university degree, a creative writer. So what I decided to do is write for those of you who are in the Harry Potter fandom, or in any fandom, you have probably heard of fanfiction. Now, for those who don't know what fanfiction is essentially when you write using characters and stories and plot lines that already exist. For example, the Harry Potter universe. And it gets really complicated sometimes. There's like crossovers, there's shipping, there's fluff, there's lemon, and a whole bunch of other things that if you don't understand that, then I am not going to tell you, and please Google with caution. But for right now, I am going to read you the one-shot that I have written to celebrate Harry's 40th birthday. Now, what I've done is I've essentially tried to like play out a part of what I think is probably happening right now to Harry. So I hope you guys enjoy. So I have my laptop, it's just here with all my fun stickers. It's going to sit on my lap, so I've tried to make it so you can't see it, but I don't know if you can see it and see my outfit clash. I'm sorry, but I don't think you can. Alright, because I was totally wearing this top all day today, so my bottom matches my top. Anyway. Oh, and by the way, I know my hair looks wet. It's actually not. So my hairdresser here in Japan told me to put oil in my hair to help keep it healthy and protect it from sun damage and to keep the ends all really super healthy. It's already pretty healthy, but I've noticed, especially in the Japanese heat, I'm starting to poof. So I haven't learned the quantity amount yet, so I've clearly put too much oil in yesterday, but we're just going to pretend. When was it? What year was it when like wet hair was a style? We're going to pretend it's that year, and we're going to pretend that I'm cool just for this video, okay? Just for this one video, we'll just pretend that I'm cool. All right, you with me? Okay, to the video. Can you tell I'm nervous? Okay. Harry Potter opening his eyes in the warmth of his bed with his wife cuddled beside him, the sun shining through his eyelids. He moved slightly, rubbing his face with one hand and doing his best not to disturb Ginny as he reached for his glasses. "Morning," he heard her say sleepily. "Morning," he replied. "Happy birthday," she said, smiling at him. He smiled back, and they kissed. That was a bit shit, but never mind. Probably going to be critiquing myself all the way through this too. Don't worry about it. "What time is it?" he said, checking the old watch on his wrist. "We don't have to be at Molly's till 11, he said, nestling back, keeping his arm around Ginny. "What time is it now?" she asked him, taking his wrist and pulling it towards her. Plenty of time," she said. The couple lay together for a moment, enjoying the lazy start to the day before they heard a knock on the door. "Come in," Ginny said. She grinned at her husband's confused look. "Happy birthday to you," his three children sang as they made their way into the bedroom. "We thought we may as well treat you too, Mum. But Dad gets the extra bacon," James smirked. "And the cupcake with the candle on it," Albus grinned, judging to the red cupcake with gold icing and the candle sticking at the top. "Thank you, this looks amazing," Harry said, staring at the food, then his children. "Make a wish, Dad," Lily said, offering him a cupcake. Harry closed his eyes and wished that his children, though getting older, would come and visit often once they moved out. Opening his eyes, he blew out the candle and it erupted into large, spectacular fireworks. "What, Dad? What did you wish for? Grandad to ask you about Muggle stuff?" James said, looking up at where the fireworks were starting to stop. "Now if I tell you, it won't come true," he smiled, looking at all three of his children. "Well, I'm glad you'll probably get your wish, Dad," Albus smiled at his father, then took a look at the food. "Dad, it's going to get cold." "Oh yeah, right," Harry said, grabbing his knife and fork. "Thank you very much, you three." "Yes, thank you," Ginny said, picking up her own knife and fork. "Grandma said to add a little bit of rosemary to the sausage. I hope we didn't add too much," Ginny said. "It's delicious," he said, taking a bite. "You kids can cook more often if you like." "Haha, your mum's cooking is good. We'll pass," James said. The family chatted while Harry and Ginny finished the food. Once their mother finished her plate, she looked at them. "Thank you very much," she said. Harry nodded, stuffing the last of the bacon into his mouth. "I'll take those and wash them," Lily said. Albus looked at his older brother. "We're cleaning the rest of the kitchen," he said. "I know," James said defensively. The three children left their parents alone. "Right. We best get ready," Ginny said, kissing her husband again before getting out of bed. "If we're in a bit of a rush, perhaps we should shower together," she said. Harry grinned. "Seems very practical," he agreed, making his way to join her. "Dot, dot, dot!" "Lily!" Ginny yelled. "If you're not dressed in 5 minutes, we are leaving you here." "Mom!" "I mean it. Hurry up." Lily came downstairs with her head down. Ginny's eyes narrowed. "Look at me." Her daughter's face was full of makeup. She had covered her own freckles with makeup and added more on her cheeks and the bridge of her nose. And there was some shiny silvery element to the highest part of her cheekbones and the tip of her nose. "What's that stuff on?" "Mom, it's called highlighter. All the Muggleborns are doing this. It's cool," she protested. "Your grandmother—" "You know what? Fine, come on," she said, grabbing the pot of blue powder. "Who's first?" Harry said. "I'll go," Albus said. "Try not to go to Knockturn Alley," James grinned, looking at his father. "James," Ginny scolded, "I regret the day Ron told you that story. Come on, hurry up." James disappeared into the fire. Then Harry whirled through the green, tickly flames, landing in the familiar sight of the burrow. As he stumbled out of the fire, he saw several familiar faces. "Happy birthday, Harry!" Molly wrapped him into a warm hug. Her once red hair was a soft silver. "Thanks, Molly," he said, smiling. "Grandma!" Lily cried, moving past her father and pulled the elderly woman into a hug. "Oof, my goodness, look how big you are. You've grown so much this year. Come on, everyone, get inside. Ginny, if you could come and help with the dinner." "Go help your cousins," Ginny said to her children, gesturing to the large assortment of young adults and teenagers setting a large table in the garden. Harry made his way to some of the other guests he could see, including the grey speckled beard of Hagrid. "Happy birthday, Harry." The two men hugged. Then Hagrid looked at Harry anxiously. I think I might have upset Lois," he said anxiously. "Why?" "Well, I may have slipped up the other day and mentioned her, you know, before. I was talking in the past, see, and I got myself all muddled and said sorry, of course, but..." "Hagrid, they know that you're going to make mistakes at first. They haven't picked their new name yet. You apologized, and if you guys talked or did what they want, then like you have been, just be there for her," Harry said, tapping him on the back, "like you've always been there for the rest of us." Hagrid nodded, glancing over at the Weasley they were discussing. They had grown out their hair with a charm, and they were taking a potion to reverse the effects of puberty, so they were looking like an extremely tall 11-year-old. However, from next week they would start taking the potion to start what they should have gone through in the first place. Harry remembered writing a letter to Dudley, and though not the most open about the topic, he discussed that it was impressive, as in the Muggle world it could take years rather than 6 months. Hagrid went to talk to her, and Harry found Ron and Hermione talking to a group of people from school. "Happy birthday," Hermione smiled. "Happy birthday," Seamus grinned at Harry. "Happy birthday, Harry," Luna said. "Something's troubling you." "No, not really. Just talk to Hagrid about something he felt bad about," Harry said, reassuring his old friend. "Happy birthday, mate." "Sorry." "Happy birthday, mate. Welcome to Club 40. We're officially old." They all laughed. "Happy birthday for yesterday, Neville. Did you and the kids have a good time?" Harry said to his fellow professor. "Happy birthday. Yeah, we did. Hannah is talking about a trip to celebrate the two of us, with the kids, so that'll be nice, before school starts. Is Dean here, or did he have to work? Yeah, he's here. He's hiding from Arthur, Hermione said, a little amused. He's been here half an hour, and 'cause Dean mostly works in the Muggle world, Harry laughed. It's great having the best of both, Seamus said, thinking of his husband fondly. The kids love it too, 'cause sometimes we let them use a little magic, for homework purposes, he added under Hermione's glare. And 'cause we use it bar one or two rooms, they don't get in trouble with the trace. Harry opened his mouth to respond, but the words were lost as he spotted blue hair in the crowd. Sorry, making the rounds, I'll be back in a bit. After they all give the murmurs of course, talk later, Harry moved politely through some more happy birthdays from family members, before he made his way over to his godson. Teddy, Harry grinned, hugging the blue-haired man. Hey, happy birthday, he said, hugging his godfather back. How are things? Good. How's Chris? He asked, amused when the young man's hair turned pink, his expression so much like his father's when he was embarrassed. The smile on his face remained, though. He's good. He doesn't know about all this yet, he waved at the room. We will go out for a Muggle dinner to celebrate sometime next week, Harry promised. Thanks, Uncle Harry, he smiled. Harry saw Teddy's eyes move behind him. He followed the eye of sight and saw his niece. Victoria smiled at Teddy, who smiled back. They had all been glad when the two had no bad blood after their breakup. Victoria wanted to go to a Muggle university in France and experience the country where her mother had grown up. They hadn't survived the long distance. I'm gonna go say hi, he told Harry. Sure, Harry said, moving out of Teddy's way so he could get through the crowd of people. It wasn't much longer until Molly had everyone outside in their seats, waiting for the cake before they could begin the delicious feast that was in front of them. The murmurs died as they heard a creak of the door, and in front of the silver and wrinkled Molly Weasley was a beach ball-sized snitch that several guests recognised. Harry laughed in reminiscence as he saw the cake. The kids looked up to see a lot of the adults smirking. What's so funny? Lucy asked the adults, frowning. She looked at her father, who shook his head. Percy Weasley had no idea what his family was laughing at. Harry was actually a very good seeker. People wanted to sign him too, Ginny said, putting an arm around her husband. Incredible, George said. The youngest seeker in a century, Hermione said. Won his first game even with a cursed broom, he caught the snitch. Wah, said some of the kids looking at him in awe. But he wanted to teach, Ginny said, ruffling his hair affectionately. Uncle Harry is a really good teacher, Molly said. He really is, Rose added. When he isn't handing out detentions, Lucy grumbled. Well, you deserve them, Percy said, watching their child with a stern eye. But he could have been a Quidditch player, James said, at his father, horrified. Harry rolled his eyes. He was famous enough, George smirked. Though remember how Wood begged you to try out for Puddlemere United? Harry laughed, remembering when his former team captain came banging on his door. I nearly had to call Aurors to get him to leave me alone and accept I would not be playing professional Quidditch. All the adults laughed. Right then, Molly said, with a wave of her wand the candles were lit. Ready, everyone? Harry knew better than to protest at this point as the table began to sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Harry. Happy birthday to you. They all cheered as Harry blew out his candles, thinking to the last time the cake had been presented to him, the journey he, Ron and Hermione were about to embark on, the good and the bad as they hunted down Riddle's Horcruxes and stopped him once and for all. The minister is talking about giving them a vaccine, Harry zoned back into Hermione speaking as she bumped his arm to put quotes in the air. They really are struggling, and that blundering ogre in office in America. I heard someone at work say that the magical president hasn't let him know of our existence because the fool will probably leak us to the world, Hermione said before grabbing another bite, shaking her head. I miss Obama. He was lovely. I met him once when I was there for the elf rights in America. Yeah, some of the Muggle-borns have been getting letters from home about the virus, not him, Rose said. Apparently they haven't been allowed to leave their homes for months, Lily added. See, Arthur, how far behind their medicine is? Molly eyed her husband. What did Grandad do? Fred smirked. He looked at his grandfather, then around the room. Oh, you're gonna love this, George said, clapping his hands together. Listen up, 'cause I can't. So, it's the start of the war where Fudge is being a prat. George, Molly scolded, gesturing to the younger of the group. Anyway, he rolled his eyes slightly. Middle of the war, no one believed Harry yet that Voldemort was back, and Grandad here was on guard duty of the prophecy. Not that we knew that, they tried to keep us out of the loop, see? Anyway, he added hastily. Harry felt a warmth of fondness as he zoned out of George's story. He looked around the table to see all of his family. The children and the adults who were not involved this deeply into the war were listening intently. He saw that Angelina still had her fork halfway to her mouth. His vision turned to his two best friends. Ron had his arm around Hermione as they both listened in fondness to the old story. They had been through so much, the three of them. Raising the kids had been as scary as hunting Horcruxes, he thought, though, he admitted, in very different ways. They knew the pressure of protecting people. Harry remembered when he held James for the first time, the small, vulnerable baby that he and Ginny were to protect. The fear of anything happening to that child was so much stronger than the weight that he felt as a teenager. And now, James was older than he was when the war was over, just finishing Hogwarts, and Lily was about to start her owl year. Harry looked at his children with a smile. He was so happy he got the family he always wanted with Ginny. What a life it was. And, to top it off, your idiot of an uncle thought he was being possessed after that, and that he was the weapon. There you are, I went through that without too many problems. A quick few little edits that I'll probably add in as little bloopers as I'm going. And yeah, that's what I think will be happening on Harry's 40th birthday, aka today. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. There's a few things I wanted to address because I altered some of the characters a little bit, we can say. And I wanted to give some reasons why. Lewis being transgender, very obvious why I did that. It was a month ago. People remember. It was a kind of to J.K. Rowling. So I added that in. The actors for Seamus and Dean have basically been like, yeah, they were a couple, and they've even given us the picture of them proposing. Yes, they actually did that. There are pictures on the internet, go find them. And yeah, so there was a few other little things that I just wanted to, like, again, I made Teddy Bye. Just wanted to be more inclusionary of the community, especially given that their month was very busy, shall we say, and they didn't get to celebrate Pride a lot, which I'm sure they didn't mind, and for a very good reason, but I thought I'd just add those extra bits in there because not only should they be there because gay, bi, pan, etc. people are around and they should be included in these stories. One thing I do want to point out is, although a little bit of this is in my writing style, I tried to copy J.K. Rowling's style a little bit. That's why there's so many he said, she said. I don't tend to do as many of those in general. But again, I tried to do like a balance of like what I actually try and sound like in my writing versus what she sounds like in her writing, because I wanted it to be like we were getting a different epilogue, you know? So I know I didn't get it perfect. I've been told through my fanfiction account, which I'm not gonna leave here, that I'm very good at keeping the characters on brand or in character, despite taking them sometimes out of their scenes. I've always been told that I'm very good at capturing specific characters. I don't overdo characters and things like that. I'm just trying to toot my own horn because I'm very, very nervous. But yeah, that is what I think happened on Harry's 40th birthday. Obviously more would have happened afterwards, but we were 6 pages in and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't boring you, / that the video wasn't too long. Plus I started writing this on Monday, so it's a little bit rushed. And yeah, that is Harry's 40th birthday. Happy 40th birthday one more time, Harry, and I hope you are all having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!